Captain Marcus Reynolds stood frozen before the holographic display, his weathered hands trembling as the footage played. The colony of New Providence, home to 47,000 human settlers, was nothing but smoldering ruins. The Zalthine Empire had struck without warning, without mercy. "Sir, the recordings show they gave no quarter," Lieutenant Sarah Williams whispered, her voice cracking. "Children, elderly, everyone." Marcus clenched his jaw, watching as the alien warships circled the defenseless colony like predators. The Zalthine had always viewed humanity as weak, a species too soft for the harsh realities of galactic politics. They believed humans would negotiate, would compromise, would bow their heads and accept this atrocity as the price of survival. They were catastrophically wrong. The marble halls of the UTC headquarters in Geneva echoed with angry voices. President James McKenna slammed his fist on the podium, his face red with barely contained rage. "Gentlemen, ladies, the debate is over," his voice thundered across the chamber. "The Zalthine have committed an act of genocide. They sent us a message written in the blood of our people. It's time we send one back." Admiral Patricia Hayes stood at attention beside the holographic star map. "Mr. President, the Admiralty has prepared Operation Retribution. Every shipyard from Earth to Titan has been working triple shifts. The fleet is ready." Council member David John raised his hand hesitantly. "But the Galactic Union's peace accords." "The Galactic Union watched as our colony burned," McKenna interrupted. "They offered thoughts and prayers while our children died. The Zalthine thought we wouldn't retaliate because we're bound by treaties and laws. They forgot that before we reached the stars, we survived by being the most dangerous species on our own planet." The vote was unanimous. In the orbital yards above Mars, Commander Robert Bull Thompson watched as the greatest armada humanity had ever assembled came together. 300 warships, each one a masterpiece of human engineering and determination. The flagship, the UTS Vengeance, was a leviathan of steel and fury. 5 kilometers of rail guns, plasma cannons, and missile batteries. But it wasn't just the weapons that made it terrifying. It was what it represented. Humanity's promise that there were lines that should never be crossed. "Sir, the Zalthine are broadcasting on all channels," his communications officer, Lieutenant Jennifer Martinez, reported. "They're calling this an overreaction. They say one colony isn't worth a war." Bull smiled coldly. "Tell them that's where they're wrong. One human life is worth going to war over. 47,000? That's worth burning their empire to the ground." The fleet moved through the void like a steel river of retribution. Inside the Vengeance's war room, Captain Reynolds briefed his strike team leaders. "The Zalthine capital world, Zthor, is defended by their immortal fleet, allegedly undefeated in 1,000 years of conquest," he explained, highlighting the enemy positions on the tactical display. "They think their shields are impenetrable, their tactics superior." Major Thomas Anderson, leader of the Marine detachment, grinned. "They've never fought humans before, have they, sir?" "No, Major. They've conquered species that fight by their rules, with their understanding of warfare. They don't know about Midway, Stalingrad, or the Battle of Terra Nova. They don't understand that humans don't just fight to win, we fight to make sure those who harm us never threaten anyone again." The Zalthine Immortal Fleet emerged from the planet's shadow, 300 vessels strong, matching humanity's numbers exactly. Their commander broadcast a message dripping with contempt. "Humans, retreat now and we may show mercy. You are outmatched. Our shields have never." Admiral Hayes cut the transmission. "All ships, release drone swarms. Let's show them what happens when you evolve technology on a death world." Thousands of AI-controlled drones poured from the human vessels like angry hornets. The Zalthine had never seen such tactics, warfare that didn't rely on honor or formation but on overwhelming, chaotic aggression. "Railguns, fire on my mark," Hayes commanded calmly. "Target their shield generators. Humans learned a long time ago, if you can't go through something you break it down first." The battle was brutal and swift. Human ships took damage, yes, 17 vessels were lost. But for every human ship that fell, 5 Zalthine vessels were reduced to debris. They had never faced an enemy that studied war like humans did, that wrote books about it, that made it an art form and a science. As the last Zalthine vessel surrendered, Admiral Hayes stood before a galaxy-wide transmission. Behind her, the broken remnants of the immortal fleet floated like cosmic tombstones. "To all species of the Galactic Union," she began, her voice steady and cold. "Humanity did not want this war. We came to the stars hoping for peace, for cooperation. But we are not naive. We know the universe can be cruel." She gestured to the destruction behind her. "The Zalthine Empire believed we were weak because we value life. They thought mercy was the same as cowardice. They learned today that humanity's compassion is a choice, not a weakness. And when you murder our children, you remove that choice." The camera zoomed in on her face, showing eyes that had seen too much death. "Let this be a lesson to any species considering aggression against humanity. We remember our dead. We honor them. And we avenge them. Every single time." 6 months later, Captain Reynolds walked through the rebuilt streets of New Providence. The colony lived again, but the names of the 47,000 were carved into a memorial that stretched for a kilometer, a reminder of what had been lost and what humanity had done in response. President McKenna stood beside him. "They're calling us the vengeful ones now in the Galactic Union. Some species fear us." Marcus nodded slowly. "Good. Fear will keep the peace better than any treaty. They thought we wouldn't retaliate. They'll never make that mistake again." Above them, the UTS Vengeance maintained its orbit, a silent guardian, a watchful protector, and a promise written in steel: humanity protects its own.